Hello, hello. Welcome to Media Queen TV. Today we're going to be chatting about living your life with intention and designing your life, in fact, with an amazing guest we have from India. A little bit about our amazing guest today. Now, Nasirra Ahamed is the founder of The Energy Architect and a two-time #1 international best-selling author, a coach, mentor, speaker, and host of the Energy Architect podcast, which she recently interviewed me on. She is dedicated to empowering individuals to unlock their full potential. She has been recognized for her work in India Today, listed her among the top 10 successful Indian personalities of 2024. And Today magazine named her one of the top 50 under 50 for the same year. She's also been featured in an article on women leaders by the Today magazine. Her insights have been shared in interviews and radio shows across the US and Canada. Embarking on a mission to unlock human potential, Nasirra believes in each person's innate capacity to design, create, and change their world. And as a purposepreneur and certified coach with a remarkable 21-year journey in corporate leadership at companies like Bennett and Coleman and Danic Yagran, she brings a wealth of experience to her practice. And so much more we can say about her. Let's let her speak for herself here on Media Queen TV today. Design your life with intention. Welcome, Nasirra.
Hello, Aldwyn. Thank you so much. Thank you for this very warm welcome. It's a pleasure to be here today.
It's great to have you. And thank you so much for interviewing me on your podcast, The Energy Architect. I loved it. And we actually connected, for those who are wondering, how did these people from two different parts of the world come together? Well, we connected through Action Takers Publishing. And I was actually recently in this book, the book I read, which is just hot off the press, brand new book with Action Takers Publishing that I am in. And Nasirra has two books with Action Takers Publishing. So what are your books there? Women with
It's
Healing.
called Women with Healing Gifts and the Mind Body Connection.
Love it. Awesome. And they definitely are powerhouses, the people at Action Takers Publishing in the US. Amazing, great process there. And I love the whole idea of the energy architect too, because, life is energy, right? Life is energy. Now, how did you come about actually starting your podcast, Nasirra?
So I started my podcast about a year and a half back, and I love how much momentum it has gained over this time. I think one of my biggest passions was to really help people get unstuck in their lives, because life happens to you. And, we've all faced some kind of trauma at some point, at different versions, levels, but we faced it. And a lot of people actually get stuck over there. And my mission is really to help people get unstuck because people are not aware of the tools that are available out there, how to get unstuck. So I actually get experts from all over the world to speak about matters that they're, really good at. And I um, I have had so much of feedback from people telling me that they watched the show and it's changed so much for them because they did not know that this option was there or this tool was there. And that's what got me started. When I started, I wasn't sure how I was going to go about it. All I knew was that this was my mission and it'll happen somehow. And I trusted that process.
Yeah, I love that. And that's the thing with getting unstuck, you actually have to take action, right? And 50% of anything you do is just starting, just taking some kind of action, even imperfect action. And notice if perfectionism is getting in the way, as they say, that don't let perfection get in the way of progress. Right. So, I love this concept of getting unstuck because a lot of people have been stuck, particularly, the last few years with all the craziness in the world and the massively changing times we are going through. And a lot of people are feeling really stuck. So what would you say to those who are joining us today? And thank you for those joining us live today. We've got on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and X. Hello, hello. Let us know, where are you joining us from? We've got Bren J joining us, Big Boss officially, Clinton Jin, Shua Dak Kumar joining us. Hello, hello. So let us know, for those who are joining us today, let us know where you're from and what are some ways that people can get unstuck, Nasirra?
I think the first step is with the awareness. Okay?
Mm,
Because you keep postponing that or you're not opening yourself up to that awareness. As soon as you become aware of it, then it's like this gap between the knowing and the doing. So, how do you really bridge this gap? So, many people know that, okay, this is what I'm going through. And then there is like, okay, so now what do I do about it? And
mm.
I would say, that action, that gap between the knowing and the doing, that is what would take you there.
Yes, the action between the knowing and the doing. Awareness and also not making yourself wrong for it. If you are feeling stuck, actually just going, yeah, okay, I'm feeling stuck at the moment. And, what is the next best thing to do? And that's another thing, too, I find that often, for high achievers out there, and I've certainly been a high achiever, is that sometimes I've found myself getting into overwhelm and thinking, oh my gosh, I've got a million things to do. Where am I going to even start? And I can get really stuck sometimes when I get in this state of overwhelm. And so for me, I sort of have to really chunk it down to small, very small tasks and go, okay, Alden, what's one small step you can do towards this? What's another small step? So it's sort of like if you want a website to be done, the first thing you might have to do is actually open your computer or start your computer. If you've got a laptop, when I say open, I use a laptop often. So, open the laptop, start the laptop, like break it down into manageable steps, rather than think, oh my gosh, I've got to update my website, which will never be complete, by the way. I don't know anyone who's got a complete website and is totally happy with their website. It's something that's going to be always a work in progress, right? Hey,
I
Grandpa
agree
Hembro's
with
joined us.
you.
Hello, Grandpa Hembro. Oh, we've got Philip Cozers here from Brisbane. Hello, Philip. Good to see you. And Grandpa Hembro, Mr. Mark Hembro, entertainment legend, film industry legend. So hello, welcome, wherever you're joining us from. Yes, Nazira, back to you.
Yeah, I would put it this way, like you take this entire dream and you break it up into small goals, like, bit by bit.
Mm,
And what you need to do is really just take one step at a time in the direction of where you want to go. Okay. And that really helps with the overwhelm because it doesn't look that daunting. But
mm,
you are making progress. And what you don't realize is when you take these steps, you know, you look back and then you realize how far you've come. So take this entire dream, break it up into small, small bits, and just have these small goals. And that is a great strategy to start.
yeah, absolutely. Break it down into small goals. So, Nazira, I'd love to hear a bit of your personal story. Were you always ambitious? Because you're an amazing high achiever, I can tell from all the things you've done. Were you always an ambitious high achiever, or was this something that you developed through your life?
Okay, I have a funny story. Um, I've been in media and advertising for about 22 years. And I got into the industry not knowing exactly what I wanted to do with my life. There was so much of pressure to start working and doing something with my life that the first job I got, I took it. And when I reflect now, I realize that, my life was not planned. Did I really want to be in media and advertising? Did I want to be in corporate? Or did this just happen to me and I'm just going with the flow? So what happened was that I continued with it because I was gaining success and I was climbing up the ladder and I did not have the strength within me to really take my leap of faith. So that
Mm,
went on for 21 years about. And everybody kept telling me that, this is a midlife crisis. Like, don't just, give up your job. It's like the steady income. But that voice just kept getting louder and louder that I needed more purpose and meaning in my life.
mm,
I think it became really loud when I felt as though I did not want to get up and go to work every day. So there was
right.
something in me calling out saying that, you've got to do something more. I mean, think about what you really want. What were you meant to do? And that is when I actually realized that I need to listen to my heart and my soul and not what everybody else is telling me. There are all of these markers that, label you as successful. And I think I was living my life by everybody else's standards. And I wanted that validation from friends and family And I was afraid that I would not be as successful if I went on my own. But I took that leap of faith and I just started walking. And I did not know at that point where the path would lead, right? But I just kept taking one step at a time. And I know that the journey, the path will reveal itself wherever I am to go. But I'm loving what happened to me. What happened was this immense experience that corporate gave me. And I also am an energy worker. I do energy work. And it's a very funny combination because you have the corporate and then you have the energy work. And the entire time, I've always kept them very separate. And now I feel I'm finally in a position to say that I'm able to integrate it. I'm seeing the possibility of that and I'm seeing it come to life. So yes, the corporate can have soul, and I'm really happy that this is emerging for me.
Yeah, I love that. And a lot of corporates probably think, oh, that's all woo woo, all that energy stuff. But, it is scientifically proven that we have energy centers. We have, well, some people call them chakras, right? Energy centers or chakras. It's scientifically proven we are 99.9% energy frequency vibration from Dr. Hawkins' scale of consciousness. So it is at the heart of each of us is we are all energy, right? So what do you say to the people that say it's all woo woo, Nasira?
Um, no, see, energy exists. Okay, everything is energy. Some call it spirituality. Some people call it um, quantum
Uh-huh.
science. There are so many names to it, but you can't destroy it. You know immediately, what energy you bring, who you, when you show up, you know who you are, you know what you're bringing to the table. And when someone shows up in front of you, I'm sure you get a feeling of what this person is about. And energy can make you feel good. You know when somebody's giving you a great vibe. You know when you are giving somebody a great vibe, when you are feeling
Yes.
fantastic. So if that's not energy, then what is?
And it's interesting how not only we influence other people's energy, but how we influence our own energy. And it really is an inside job, starting with us as to how we show up and how we impact the energy of those around us. So, what are some ways that people can lift their energy and vibration so that they have a greater experience of life?
So the thing about energy is it can neither be created nor destroyed. So if
Right.
you are dealing with emotions and energy that is, say, probably not so positive, you can still transmute it and you can take that and convert it to something positive. Now, how can one really, add that positivity into their life? One is, being in nature.
Mm.
That really helps a lot. The grounding activity, that helps a lot. Opening up all of your chakras and being aware of what reality is and what you're giving out. Another thing I would say is journaling, because that's extremely powerful and that's really very therapeutic. People really underestimate that, but that's extremely powerful. And then there is this awareness of what is inside of you. A lot of people actually say that, if the exterior is better, is good, then I will feel better. So the approach there is that it's outside in. But the truth is that it's actually inside out. When
Mm.
you are feeling good from inside, the outside will not matter as much because you create your environment with your own energy.
Yes, yes. And it's good to be conscious, as you mentioned awareness earlier, conscious of the things we say to ourselves. Like I've heard a lot of people say, oh, you're such an idiot, or like speaking to themselves, I'm such an idiot, I did this, or I'm so stupid, I did this, or whatever, which is actually depleting your energy. It's putting yourself down. So one thing is to get conscious to what are you saying to yourself, about yourself. And often, as they say, hurt people, right? Hurt people, hurt people. And if you don't want to be one of these people who dies with regrets, and the stats are very high as to, in fact, 90% of people die with regrets, right? 90%. And a third of people die by the age of 65. one third of the population. In fact, in the 5 top regrets of the dying in the book by Bronnie Ware, the number one regret was, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me, which is what you were talking about, Nasirra, about, living a life because you thought, doing things you thought other people would want you to do, family, etc. And a lot of people do this. Second regret is, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Number 3 is, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Number 4, I wish I'd stayed in touch with my friends. And number 5 is, I wish I had let myself be happier. Isn't that interesting? All those regrets that people have. And so ideally, living life with great energy and designing your life with intention, as we're talking about here today, it is an intentional thing, isn't it? Like every day, every moment, every hour, every minute counts towards having an extraordinary life. And I was, watching some YouTube videos yesterday, actually, around Stoicism, and they were talking about the importance of having a great morning routine, of actually setting your day up correctly to actually make sure you made the most of the day and that you get your energy in check. Now, Nasirra, do you have a morning routine? And or if you do or don't, what do you recommend we should be doing ideally in the morning to set up our day right?
So the first thing I do is I get up and I meditate for at least 40 minutes. That's the
Wow.
first thing I do. That helps me really tune into the day, helps me with my intentions. It helps me get clarity as to how I want to move forward and what I need to accomplish for the day. I also try and read for 15 minutes, at
Okay.
least 10 pages, and that helps me quite a bit. I'm learning something new every day. After that, at around 7 o'clock, I generally go downstairs and I go for a small walk. And after my walk, I do my grounding exercise, which is by my swimming pool. So I sit there and I do my grounding exercise. I also take my book and I journal over there. I sit in that environment. When it's morning, the birds are chirping, and it's really
Yes.
very peaceful, and it's green everywhere. And that's a beautiful way for me to get my day started. So that takes me about maybe an hour or so. Generally between 8 and 8:30, I try and listen to a podcast, something that is very positive, because I want to tune into that very high frequency first thing in the morning. I want to be at that frequency where I am receiving and I'm also giving that high energy and that kind of the purpose, because my purpose in life is to really get people to get unstuck. And so how else can I do this? But I need to keep my vibration up, and this has become a habit for me now. So that's like my morning routine.
I love that.
So around 3:30 or so, I do a small meditation for about 15-20 minutes, where that's like a cleansing exercise for me. And that helps me really get rid of a lot of stress that I may have accumulated between the time of, everything that we pick up while during work.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, one thing I love to do to ground myself is I go for beach walks and I go barefoot in the sand. And it's interesting. I was on the beach the other day walking. I do a 90-minute walk along the beach and then have a swim in the ocean. And my goal is to do that 3 times a week, which I've been doing lately, which has been great. And the other day I saw people walking with shoes on the beach, and I thought to myself, why have you got shoes on the beach? That's the best grounding is to have your bare feet on the grass or on the sand, etc. So I'm curious about your grounding exercise that you do by the pool. What do you actually do there? How does that look?
Okay. That's me actually sitting by next to my pool. I squat on the floor, I sit cross-legged, okay, and I feel as though my feet are getting stronger and stronger into the ground, and I feel as though they're growing roots, and the roots go really deep into the ground, and it connects with the earth, and there's something called prana, that's energy, in the morning, that's given out by the ground. I draw that energy from the ground, and I stabilize all of my chakras. That includes my firstly my basic chakra, because that's I it, it's the most important chakra according to me, because that's the chakra of stability and security and survival. And I feel as though when I do that routine, no matter what is happening around me, I feel so solidly anchored that nothing can really, shake me. Even if there's like a tornado, I'm not fettered by that. So that is very powerful for me.
Wow, I love that. So you squat first and then sit cross-legged? I was just trying to visualize that. Like where did the roots
Yeah, I
go?
visualize that. Yeah, I visualize it because I I want to connect with the ground as much as possible. So I sit cross-legged on the ground and I
Okay.
imagine that my feet are growing roots into the ground.
Ah, got it, got it. Okay.
Okay. So it's like me as an individual with or even without feet. It's like I don't know who I am at that time, but I know that I'm
Yes.
growing roots and my roots go really deep, and it's really pulling that energy from the ground and it gives me strength. And yes, I also do walk bare feet on the grass. We have a stretch of like the lawn, so it's not very big, but I still do that.
I love that. And I love the fact you meditate, and 40 minutes is that's a good amount of meditating that you do in the morning, which is extraordinary. And in fact, I would say just about every successful person I know meditates, which is interesting. The habits of successful people, right? And this is successful not just with financial and business success, but actually successful in all areas of life. Or I would say sitting between between 7, 8, 9 out of 10 in all areas of life is what I would consider successful. I don't know that we're ever going to be 10 out of 10 in any area of life. When I say areas of life, I mean health, relationships, adventure, travel, all those different things, right? Spirituality, connection. So that's the thing, is to have with the wheel of life, to have balance with the wheel of life, I think is really, really important. And meditation is absolutely brilliant. And I must say, for myself, having had high adrenaline for many years, being go, go, go in the media for many years, meditation for me has been an absolute godsend, as well as yoga. I love yoga, and I can just imagine how much yoga is going on in India, because India is the birthplace of great yoga, right? And I find yoga so replenishing for me. Absolutely love it. And I find myself on the beach actually just stretching and doing my own version of yoga. Even if I'm not in a yoga class as such, we can all do a bit of stretching and breathing, which is basically what yoga is, right? And connecting to source. So is that something you do too, Nazira? Do you do yoga?
I do some somatic practices. I do a few stretches. I'm not
Uh-huh.
doing yoga as much because there's some time issue. Coordinate. I have a teacher who comes and teaches me, and so I just do the stretches. Or I sometimes maybe once in 10 days or so, if I feel like it, I will do the Surya Namaskaras, which is like an entire body workout. That is something that I do, but yoga every day is not something that I used to do it at one time, but I don't do that right now.
Got it. Got it. We had
But
a
yes,
lady.
you're right in saying that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are
Yoga.
right in saying that it is really good. It helps
Mm.
you connect mind, body, and spirit. It is fantastic.
Yeah, yeah, it's been great for me. And I'll tell you, it was challenging, because I was always one of these people that was really challenged with doing things like yoga and meditation, because I would just find my mind was going a million miles an hour, and to actually silence my mind to be able to meditate and focus on my breath, which is a great way to meditate, is actually just focus on your breath. That's a great way to do it. But it took some time, and often I would find when I did go to meditate, I would just fall asleep because I was that tired. I'd close my eyes and I'd just fall asleep. So it's been quite a practice and a strengthening of the muscle, so to speak. And now I meditate just about every day. I absolutely love it, and even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, and I do it first thing in the morning as well. I absolutely love it. And I like the guided meditations. I like it with a bit of music, but sometimes I'll just sort of, just look out at the birds in nature, and that'll be my form of meditation through the day as well, kind of like daydreaming, I guess, some would call it. And now I'm curious too about your afternoon practice, where you say sort of you're wrapping up the day. How does that look? What do you do with that afternoon practice?
With the afternoon practice, I just sit wherever I am. But again, I sit cross-legged. It's something about me when I get into this meditative state. I've tried putting my feet down and everything. It doesn't work for me. I need to sit cross-legged. Wherever I am, I put my feet up and I sit cross-legged.
Okay.
And what I do is I actually release everything that I've collected through the day. So that's like a cleansing process for me, where whatever I have experienced, whether it's negative, especially negative, because I don't want to carry that with me. Energy just like sticks on, right? And I don't know sometimes if I'm giving out the right energy, because um, it it happens at such a subconscious level, and the same happens with other people. You never know what kind of energy you're receiving from people.
Mm.
So what I do is I sit down and I release all of this energy. I essentially see everything going out of my body from my back, like in a form of smoke or something like that. So it's released, and the beauty about this practice is that as soon as I finish it, whatever was stressing me out just before I started, that feeling will not be there. It's
Mm.
gone. So it's like I've actually just released it, which means I'm again free and energetic, and I'm feeling lighter, and I'm good to go again. There are also some other things that I do practice. For example, if there is something that's really bothering me at an emotional level, okay, something that I've been trying to work on and it's not happening, I also use EFT, that is your emotional freedom uh, technique. That's very powerful. So
Mm.
I do that. And I do somatic work. I believe that, stress and trauma is absorbed by the body. And even if you're doing mindset work, what happens is that, well, for all logical reasons, it should make sense. But why is it that you don't do what you're supposed to do? So, the reason for that is that your body actually absorbs that energy and you need to release that.
Mm.
So, that's extremely powerful as well. I actually do workshops on these, and I help people to let go of, what's really holding them back at a somatic level.
Wonderful. Well, that's fantastic. I think the more of that out there, the better, because a lot of people are holding on to stuff and they're not conscious about what they're holding on to. And this is where the term dis-ease comes from, or disease. Dis-ease in the body is often from trauma. And Louise Hay actually talked a lot about this with Heal Your Life, her book Heal Your Life. So, often if there's physical ailments in the body, often it links to something where there's some emotional trauma or something that's been held on to that hasn't been released. And it is like the layers of the onion, isn't it? It's like you clear one thing and then something else pops up or whatever. And so I guess it's just being willing and open to actually exploring that, and to be the best version of yourself, to design your life with intention and design your life to be amazing. It takes something. It takes conscious effort. Whereas really, it probably shouldn't be that hard, but because we've been conditioned to live in drama as human beings, and because of the pressures that can happen in society, as a lot of people can get trapped in a very negative energy, and they can, become victims rather than looking at everything happening in life as, how is this happening for me, rather than how is this happening to me, rather than being the victim of it. Let's look at, okay, why is this happening, and what are the learnings in every situation? And this is something I find successful people do very well, is when they're faced with a challenge, they look at it exactly that. It's not a problem, it's not a mistake, it's a challenge. And how can we learn from this, and how can we, what are the opportunities now that this presents to maybe do things better next time, or do things in a different way next time. So I think the mindset part is really, really crucial. And here we are, talking about designing your life with intention. Now, a lot of people set intentions at the beginning of the day. They say, okay, what's my intention for the day? Whereas really you could set intentions all through the day, couldn't you? Now, when it comes to this particular topic, how do you work with intention? When do you set it in the morning, or how do you design your life with intention?
So I do a checklist in the night. I
Hmm.
generally plan in the night. I feel like I want to get X, Y, Z done. Then in the morning, it's like wake up and do. Something that has worked very well for me is one of the trainings that I'm taking right now with Dr. Sri Kumar Rao, um, is how to really train the mind to observe your thoughts and really not interact with them. So I have now absolute clarity. Earlier, what used to happen was a lot of mental chatter would come into my mind and it would completely derail me because I would get emotional or I would get sucked into that. But now I've been able to separate the two. So I have absolute clarity when I start my day. I make my intentions the previous night. In the morning, I have my regular intentions plus whatever I may have thought of the previous night. But I generally go with that. But what is working very well for me is this clarity. And this clarity has come about because I'm watching my thoughts. I'm watching my own mental chatter. I am understanding how I am speaking to myself. And the change for me really has happened at a much deeper level. So that is what has given me clarity. And therefore, it's when I stop this mental chatter, what's opening up for me is this huge space where I can create. And that's the arena that I am in right now.
Yes, that's so important because, when you look at the stats, we have 60,000 thoughts a day. 95% of them are the exact same thoughts we had yesterday for most people, and 80% are negative. And there's a lot of thoughts going on. And I must say, and I feel it's getting busier and busier with the world of AI now. And like, it's just like information overload, super highway. Things are just coming at us left, right, and center. Just about everyone's got ADD or ADHD because they're just all so scattered with a million messages, right? So actually, learning to silence the mind and this is where meditation, of course, is so powerful. And having an intention, I think, is really important. Now, there's different ways people can set intentions. Like some people say, okay, my intention today is to have a peaceful, creative, flowing day. Could be an intention, right? And then you could get more detail with your day. Like I want to gain 2 clients today or whatever. So what would you recommend as a structure for setting your intention for the day?
So I have these goals that I've created for myself. These are much larger. And then I break them up into, okay, this is where I want to go. So what do I start with?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I said you break up a much larger dream into smaller bits and you set those small goals. So my big intention is that, I would get X, Y, Z. I'm on the path to this. I'm opening, the universe is opening up to me with these opportunities, and each and every one of them has been working. But that that major chunk of what I wanted to do, that has happened a little while back. So that is like my blueprint. That is why I call myself the energy architect, because I have a blueprint as to how I want to go about what I am doing. The overall larger picture looks like this. Now I break that up, saying that this month I have these monthly intentions, I have a weekly intentions, and I have a daily intention. But all of these are small fragments of my much larger picture. That's my blueprint.
So they're more specific intentions in that case. So what's an example, say, of one intention that you've set maybe in the last week or so?
Um, okay. So the one thing where I felt I needed more help was being creative,
Hmm.
because I realized that I've been doing so many calls. I wanted to be more creative and bring that out through my work. Okay. And for me, everything that I do is it has to be in a state of flow, right?
Mm.
So I say that I am more creative this week and I'm doing something in a form of this creative work. Like I sketch, Okay, I draw, I do something that has to do with creativity, or I write something, but I need that energy to get working in me. And that's what I'm working on right now. That's been going on since actually sometime last week. So it's moving, and I can see the momentum happening, and it's showing up for me. It's showing up for me in various aspects. I see it in my work because I am intentional about bringing this alive in me and putting this through my work, really fusing it with this flow. Okay. And it's like a beautiful dance for me. It's like I know that I want to do this, and it's like very free flowing.
Mm.
And very slowly, the creativity starts, but all you need to do is just start. And then it starts going, it starts moving, and that is that state of flow. Does that
Brilliant.
answer your question?
Yes, I love creativity, actually. Yeah, and I think that's a great one, creativity, because I think we can all be more creative, right? And this is something that really sets us, apart from everyone else. Is we all have our own style of creativity. We all have our ways that we might cook food or do artwork or create a banner on Canva for those in business or who do that kind of thing themselves, or set up events for those running events. That's all creativity, isn't it? What we're doing right now is creativity. This is creative what we're doing, and it's very, very fulfilling when we create things, because I do believe as human beings that's what we're meant to be doing, is creating, and not just creating babies, but actually creating works of art in some form. And I know for me, I certainly get so much satisfaction from being creative. And in fact, it's a great cure for depression as well. So for anyone who has depression or feeling a bit down right now, then get creative, whether it's cooking something in the kitchen or whether you put pen to paper and just draw something out, or, whatever it is, get creative. It's a great way to lift your energy and to feel better about yourself. Now, I want to
It
say
also
hello to,
channelizes that energy.
yes, channelizes that energy. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Shweta Goyal, good to see you. Tim Blackwell, Tony McFarlane, good to see you. And Eric, we've got Eric Nyonges here. Let us know where you're joining us from. If you're on the Instagram right now, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and X, let us know where are you joining us from. Of course, we've got Philip here from Brisbane on LinkedIn. Hello, Philip. Where are you joining us from? And do you have any questions for Nasirra today? If you have any questions, pop them into the chat and we can come to those questions. Anything around designing your life with intention. Now, it's one thing to design your life with intention for one day, and it's another thing to be consistent with designing your life with intention. Now, Nazira, do you take any days off from being intentional for that day? Like, on weekends, do you say, "Oh, I'm not going to set my intention today for the weekend," or is it an everyday thing for you?
It's become a habit right now. So sometimes I don't even know that I'm doing it. It's just a
Right.
habit because I've been doing it so long.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. And it's something, I must say that I haven't been conscious of setting my intention every day, although I do look in my diary every day and I look at what are the top things to do for that day. So I guess in a way, in effect, I am being intentional by planning out my day. And sometimes I do it the night before. They say it is very good actually to do it the night before, because then your subconscious mind goes to work on what you want to get done for the next day, and it becomes a lot easier. And I have found that to be true actually. It's just, again, it's just having the habit, creating the habit of actually, designing your life with intention. And what does your life, what do you want your life to look like? What is it going to look like, and actually being intentional about that, because, if you don't know where you're going, then any road will take you nowhere, so you need to have some roadmap of where you want to go in life. And we get to choose. We get to choose how life looks, so that we're not one of these 90% of people that die with regrets. And of course, the foundation is your energy, and is lifting your energy. And exercise is fantastic. You mentioned you did walks every morning, Nazira. I think that's wonderful. And even just getting out and walking just a little bit if you're not very active. I must say, I don't really like running myself. I'm not much of a runner. Although I did it when I was a table tennis, elite table tennis player back in the day, back 40 years ago. I was an elite table tennis player, played for Australia for 6 years, and we used to do these 5-kilometre runs. And we had the Australian Table Tennis Academy down in Melbourne in Albert Park, and we used to run around Albert Park 5 kilometres around there, and we we ran in freezing conditions in China during winter with the Chinese national team and things like that. And I think it's probably turned me off running. So nowadays, I like very much to walk. I like to walk. I like to do things like yoga. I like the more gentle exercise. Is much better for me personally. But whatever you enjoy doing. And when I was going to the gym more so recently, I was doing things like Zumba, which I really love. So getting out and dancing, even putting some music on that you like and dancing, that's a great way to lift your energy. Or put some comedy on, get something, have a good laugh over some comedy. And I've actually put some comedies up on my YouTube channel, actually, that some of my favorites you can check out there. And Lucille Ball was one of my favorites. I Dream of Jeannie, some of the old classic comedies from back in the day. Do you have any favorite comedies that you like, Nasirra?
I like Friends. That's one of my favorite. It always cracks me up.
Yes.
And uh, what else do I watch? Seinfeld.
Oh, yes.
These are the two that I watch. Yeah. Of
Yeah,
late, I
yeah,
haven't really added anything new to that, but yeah. But those are my
yes.
all-time favorites.
Yeah, I love those. I love the old British comedy like Mr. Bean and Red Dwarf and Young Ones and all those old classic George and Mildred. So many great comedies that you could just put some on and have a good laugh, and that's an instant way to lift your energy. And of course, eating healthy food is another one. Having healthy food and noticing your energy after you have heavy food. So I find when I eat bread, or if I'm eating something really heavy like pastas, I find I get very tired and I just want to sleep. So I think that's very important too, to get conscious to the kinds of food you're eating, and are they giving you energy, or are they actually depleting your energy? What are your thoughts around that at the time? I mean, you have beautiful food in India. I love the Indian food, so I could just imagine you'd have some delicious food. And actually, on that point, I went to an Ayurvedic cooking class the other day, which was very, very interesting. And they were talking about the fire in the belly from this ancient Indian philosophy of the fire in the belly. So, what are your thoughts on food for energy?
um, Always give your body the kind of love and nurture it with food that's going to nurture your body, because what is inside is what actually shows up for you as well. That is what also comes out. So you actually, once you start becoming more and more spiritual, you become aware of how you respond to various foods. And there are
Mm.
some things that I just cannot eat. Like, even if I try, I cannot eat certain things. Um, but the simpler, and our Indian food has like spices. Like we say, we have to add in like these five flavors of sweet, sour, spicy, bitter. So we add these in our. It's like more holistic, grounded in a way where we're having a little bit of each in our lives, you know? So we
Mm.
try to keep that.
Well, I certainly love the Indian food and always gets things moving for me. So, and I love spicy food. I must say I'm a bit of a spicy fan. Hot but not too hot that you can't taste the food, right? Which some of the food in India is very hot. And it's interesting, the different regions of India, quite different food, aren't they? Like the northern area to the southern area. Um, what would you say the main differences are with North and South Indian food?
Um, the South Indian food is, they're more into rice, okay? And they would have things like, I don't know if you know what idli is, idli and dosa.
No.
Okay, these are very carb heavy breakfasts. Okay,
Ah.
and but okay, India, everyone have very carb heavy breakfasts. Okay, and the south of India has these dishes called idli, dosa, chutney, and the various um versions of that. But in the North India, when you go, you would get more like of chapatis, and even their rice would be. Their food is heavier. The North Indian food is heavier than the South Indian food. It's
Ah.
richer. It's heavier. Okay, South Indian food I feel is a little light, but it's spicy no matter where you are. I
Ah.
think it gets more spicy as you go down south, which is where I
Ah.
am.
Ah. Nice, nice. Yeah, one day I'll get to India. I'd love to get there. I used to do stories for the Brahma Kumaris when I was a journalist at the Sun newspapers, and they invited me to their retreat space in Goa many years ago, over 20 years ago, and I couldn't make it back then, but it's one of my dreams to get over there. And I've got a lot of friends in India, and I love the culture and the clothes and the jewelry, and I'm sure I would just go crazy there, and all the yoga spaces and retreats and all sorts of things. So, and the ashrams and some pretty cool places in India that I've seen. And I think it'd just be
Very
wonderful.
bright place. Very
Yes.
bright and colorful.
Yes, I love that. And all the festivals, all that kind of thing, I think is brilliant. Now you've got quite a media background too, Nazira. So now you've got India Today, huge. You were listed as the top 10 successful Indian personalities of 2024, which is huge. What do you think led to them voting you, as successful Indian personality? What do you think it was that led to that award?
I think I really underestimated myself, and I was very surprised to see that. What has helped is me being very, very authentic. Uh, Something that I work with, uh, the one promise that I made to myself is that I'm not going to be what anybody else wants me to be. I want to be me, and I want to be authentic. And when you're authentic, I realize that it comes out, everything that you do just comes out very, very differently.
Mm.
And I'm also connected with Indian Institute of Management, where I studied. I am Nagpur, and I also mentor students from IIM. So I guess it is also the network, and only the top students get into IIM. The best of the best. It's like the cream of India get
Right.
into that college. So I think just being whom I am, and it is there like for everybody to see, because I am I am just me, and I love what's coming out. I did not know this side of me earlier. I think that
Mm.
creativity is also coming because now I am allowing it to come. So therefore, what's coming out from me, I think, is something else, and people are recognizing it and acknowledging me for that.
Yes, wonderful. I love that authenticity is huge. And I think particularly now as there's more AI, there's more robots, we don't know what's real anymore. We've got spammers everywhere. More so we want that authenticity now. And I think it's absolutely crucial with everything we do in life. And it'd be great if everyone just was authentic. But of course, so many people are so shut down and they have so much fear around speaking up that they just say often what they think people want to hear rather than actually what needs to be said. And now, when you interviewed me on Energy Architect, you mentioned that authenticity has its own energy frequency, right? Now, can you speak more about that? Because I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, according to me, I feel that authenticity actually vibrates at a higher frequency than pure love as well, or maybe at that level. What comes out with authenticity is, really your soul's purpose. When you are making stuff up for other people's consumption that is not truly you, it is not consistent. And that shows, and it comes out at some point, people see it. And then after that, you're actually struggling because you've created this persona that you are not, because you've not been authentic, you've not been true to what you what's really you, who you really are. So when you're authentic, the source is completely different. It is not anybody else's validation. It comes from the inside, and I really believe that that is your soul's purpose, and that comes out through your authenticity.
Yeah, I love that. And for those who've seen Dr. Hawkins' scale of consciousness, Dr. Hawkins actually did scientific testing and found out that we are 99.9% energy frequency vibration. And when we're vibrating at love, we're at 528 hertz. So we're like the funnel here. And this funnel diagram is actually in the conscious Community Global Facebook group, which is in my link tree, which you can see scrolling on the bottom. And when the very low vibrations are when we're in shame, we have guilt, we have grief, we have sadness, we have anger, those kind of very low stuck vibrations. Talking about getting unstuck, right? They're the stuck vibrations right down there. The more you can bring it up in love and above. So love is at 528 hertz, joy and gratitude at 540 hertz. So possibly authenticity might fall into there, 540 hertz, possibly with joy and gratitude. And then above that is 600 hertz is peace. We're talking about meditating, yoga, they're very expanded vibrations. And then enlightenment is above that 700 hertz plus, right, for enlightenment. So it's fascinating when you look at this can all be measured, right? This is not woo-woo. This is actually scientifically proven, can all be measured, that we are vibrating at different frequencies. And this is why often we might say, oh yeah, I really like that person, when we're vibrating on a similar frequency or a similar energy. And then there's other people who might go, oh no, there's something kind of a bit off there, something like I didn't quite gel with that person, and that could be that, for whatever reason, you're just not at the same frequency. Or maybe you're speaking your truth and maybe the other person is shut down. Maybe they're quite stuck and they've got a lot of fear around speaking up. And so you're not quite connecting on the same level because, it's like banging your head against a brick wall. You've got the accelerator on and then you've also got the brake on at the same time, right? As a lot of people do live, and they just spin their wheels, right? And so really it's absolutely
not connected to that. They're not even connected to their authentic self because they're not aware of it. There's a lot of unlearning to do when you're learning, these frequencies, when you're going up that the frequency thing, there is a lot of unlearning also that you need to do. This programming that we've been programmed as children to respond to certain things in a certain way, cover up how you really feel, camouflage it, wear a mask, people pleasing, all of these things come from there, right? And people are not aware of it. Then suddenly they wake up like, why is this happening to me? Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling, even if everything is going right for me? That's what happened to me.
Yes, so true. It's like the iceberg analogy, right? That you've got your conscious mind here, what we're conscious of, and then all this stuff under the icebergs, all your subconscious mind, which is 95% of how we do life is the unconscious. And this is where, when you really tap into source energy, like I faith is a big thing for me. I pray, meditating is connecting with source, whatever you consider source to be, or God or spirit, or whatever you call it. We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and it's all energy. It's all energy, and really, it's good to check in with yourself and say, am I happy with my energy right now? Where am I vibrating at? We are human vibrators, as my friend Dr. Espen says. He goes, "You are a human vibrator." You are vibrating at a certain frequency, and it's good to just get conscious. Okay, where am I vibrating at right now? And maybe if your energy is low, what can you do to lift your own energy? And this might be different for different people, but getting into joy, doing something you love, I think is really, really important, and a great way you can quickly lift your energy, whether it's putting a comedy on, putting your favorite song on, having a dance around the house, or singing in the shower, or whatever it is. What is it that gives you joy? What is it that lights you up? So Nasirra, what are some other things that light you up? What are some of your hobbies? You've got some awesome practices in there. What are some other things that you love to do?
I play pool.
Oh, I love pool too. I'll have to have a
That's
game one day, Nasirra. I'll take you on. I love pool.
And I like being in nature. That really helps me anchor. When I'm feeling as though there is like a lot of negativity, like just like adding on, piling on, I take a bath with salt water because salt water really disintegrates any kind of energy. Which is why even your swim in the ocean is like fantastic. That's the best way to really negate any kind of negative energy. Just that salt water. You must have heard of, even putting salt in corners of the room. It really does disintegrate any kind of negative energy. And I read a lot, and I do write. I journal. I am very mindful. I am aware of what my thoughts are. Every 3 months, I also kind of do a life audit that includes things that I eat, people that I meet, things that is not really helping me or serving me or helping me get to my higher best. um, I am aware of it, and this awareness comes through my journaling. So you will always see me with a book everywhere. Lots of people
Mm.
have seen me writing by the pool, and they're like, "What are you up to?"
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love the books too, I must say. I was talking on a show recently about, even though we've got the changing world of media where we've got a lot of e-magazines and we've got a lot of, e-books and things like that. I actually don't know many people that actually read e-books, right? I don't, or the Kindle books. I don't
Yeah.
know too many that do. And there's something about having an actual book in your hand, or, having a diary. Like I like to I have an online calendar, but I also have a diary, and I like to write down things. And I don't think that's ever going to go away. I think we're always going to want books to read. And there's something about reading that's just really beautiful. I love reading as well. And I don't know what it is, but it just feels nice, feels good to read. Mm.
Opening up so many channels in your mind. It's opening up. There's the new awarenesses that are coming, and all of this can only happen if you're open to receive them.
Mm.
And we, if we are open to receive it, that's the best thing. Just like, a lot of us are receiving a lot of negative stuff, negative news, negative people, negative vibes. But really be mindful about what you're opening yourself up to. And the book is a fantastic way to do that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, love that. And look, sometimes these negative energies around us, sometimes they're family, right? Sometimes they're family members. And so, I just am very straight with people now, and I just call them out on it. And I just go, look, you're being very negative, and if you're going to be like that, then go somewhere else and be negative, because I'm just not going to, you don't have to buy into it, right? You don't have to buy into the negativity, because if you're allowing the negativity to happen around you, then you're part of the problem, right? So, I mean, you can sort of accept that people are going to be the way they're going to be, but you could also be a stand for, what are you grateful for today? That's one thing I love to do, to interrupt someone who's being very negative. So what are you grateful for today? I just put that question out there. And in fact, I'd love to hear from our people here on Instagram, our live audience, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and X. I'd love to hear from you. What are you grateful for today? Great way to shift your energy. Bucket list guy Trav Bell has joined us. Kimmy Mack, hello, hello. And bucket list guy. Well, there you go. What's on your bucket list? Do you have a bucket list? And a lot of people say do a list of 100 things you want to do before you die. What's on your bucket list? And what are you grateful for today? Let us know in the comments. And now, Nasirra, we're coming to the top of the hour here. What are some things you're grateful for, Nasirra?
I'm grateful for just about everything. Just about everything. Even the fact that I have my cup of coffee in front of me, the fact that I have a roof. I find, again, that's become a habit. I'm grateful for just about anything. I'm grateful if I'm having a fantastic meal, if my cook has, put together something that's fantastic. When it's tasty, I'm responding like, wow, I'm so grateful for that. You know, when I'm
Yeah.
reading a book, I'm like, wow, I love this book. I'm so grateful for this book. When I'm listening to this podcast, I'm like, wow, seriously, I love listening to that podcast. So that mindfulness, I think I'm grateful for. I don't know how many times I do that in a day. I'm doing it all the time.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And I'm certainly grateful for you, Nazira. This has been such a great show, and so grateful for our viewers as well that have been hopping on here. I'm grateful for this technology. I'm grateful for the water I've got next to me. I'm grateful for my diary. I'm grateful for my phones. I'm grateful for money. I'm grateful for so much, for nature, for my cat, for my family, for my friends. Like, and that's the thing. When you get into gratitude, it's just like a snowball. It's like grateful for this light, grateful for I'm grateful for so much. And the more you're grateful in life, the more you're going to get to be grateful for. If you're whinging about what you have going on in your life right now, then expect to whinge about more things, because what will happen is you will repel people and you will attract more drama to yourself if you are in negativity continually. So I do recommend for those who do feel like that. And look, I've had depression over the years. I know sometimes we go through challenges, there's ups and downs of this roller coaster ride of life. However, really, if you're feeling low energy, then get into gratitude, do some things you love, set your intentions. And there's so many gems we've shared here, Nasira. In wrapping up, what are your final thoughts on this topic here today, designing your life with intention? What are some final thoughts?
I had to learn this the hard way because I did not know how to do this earlier. I felt that I was always responding to things that were happening to me. And as I got deeper into my practice, and I'm a certified coach, what I realized is that I really need to just work on myself first. And when I design my own life, it is the shift has been not from outside to inside, but more from inside to outside, and I create my reality. That has been the biggest game changer for me. Really
Mm.
working on myself, unlearning everything that I did, and becoming more authentic. This has been a game changer for me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Nasirra. And for those who want to work with you, how do you work with clients and how can they connect with you?
So my link tree is there. I also have a link where you can connect with me. We can have a conversation and see if this is a right fit for you. People can reach out to me. I'm available on email. I have my social media links uh, there, so people can just reach out to me. See if it is a good fit. Just reach out. All it
Okay,
needs is a conversation. It could be
beautiful. And
very
you
powerful.
do you do one-on-one coaching and group coaching, or how do you work with? Yeah.
Yes, yes. I
Okay.
do one-on-one coaching. I do group coaching. I have workshops, and people can connect with me for any of these. And I also have different programs. Like I have something called a conscious leader. I have something called Loving Me Louder, which is a
Oh,
self-love program.
nice.
I've got things as to how you can really connect with yourself, like understand your soul purpose. So all of these programs, I run them at regular intervals. And if somebody has a specific problem, or it's not even a problem, if you just want to have a conversation to get clarity on something, I'm available. Just book a call, a Zoom call with me, and see what works for you. The solution emerges if it is meant for you. If this is meant for you, it will call out to you.
Yes, absolutely. And for those tuning in on the audio through our podcast channels, that is Linktree / so Linktree spelled linktr.ee / Nasirra is spelled NASIRRA .R for Roger .Ahmed, which is spelled AHAMED. Okay, for those on the audio, you can go there and check out Nasirra's links there. And has that got your Energy Architect link in there as well? Your podcast?
Yes, the podcast. Yes, it's there.
Okay, awesome. And what's your goals with your podcast? How many episodes have you done, and what's your goals with that?
I have a few more that I need to put out.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of lovely, exciting stuff to come out. I have this one beautiful podcast that I did with you, and that should be coming out
Yes.
soon.
Yay.
Um,
Awesome.
what
Stay
I'm
tuned.
really focusing, what I'm really lots of people have come to me for brand promotions, and it's because they can make money, but I actually refused because what I want to focus on really is quality. See, my purpose is to serve people. Okay, I want to serve because that's what's really calling out to me. That's what my soul says, that I'm supposed to help people get unstuck in their lives. So maybe this is my life purpose. And
Mm,
my mission is really to get quality stuff out there and get people who are experts, not for just having a conversation for the sake of having a conversation, but really to learn something and take back something. So many people have actually had aha moments because they did not know that this angle was there. And my intention is really to bring that kind of content and also speak to that kind of quality of people.
Beautiful, Nasirra. Absolutely love that. So reach out to Nasirra if you want to chat about coaching or want to take life next level or live a life by design with intention, then chat with her about that. Check out a podcast. Our episode will be coming out soon. And with the podcast, where can they actually see or tune into the podcast? Which
I'm
channels?
on YouTube. I'm on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Apple Podcasts, Spotify.
Okay, beautiful. Awesome. All the good places. Great. Okay, so check that out. And do you have a favorite quote or motto that you would like to share with us today, Nasirra?
Yes, something does come to my mind. My whole life, growing up, I always thought that my nose was too big for me. Today, when I finally found myself and my authenticity, I feel I'm finally big enough for my nose.
You're big enough for your nose. Well, I've got a
It
massive
cracks me
nose.
up every time, but that's so true. It's so true.
I'm still growing into my nose because it's huge. But anyway, but yeah, I love it. That's really cool. As you can see, I always joke with the Media Queen brand, the logo. I say, you got to have fun with what you do because my nose is definitely not that big as it is in that cartoon. So, but, under certain light, it does look massive, like Barbara Streisand, eat your heart out.
Yeah. We are very self-critical, but seriously, we just think that people are seeing this. It doesn't exist. It's all in our head.
Yeah, it's all in our head. Well, now that I've said it, now they're going to go, oh, yeah, Aldwyn, you've got a massive hooter. you got a big nose there. But you know what? I'm not going to get a nose job, okay? And it's not that big.
No, you don't need one.
I've seen much bigger. But I think I walked into a door when I was younger and I've got this bump. I've got this bump in the middle of my nose. It's never gone away. So,
you have
but
a
anyway.
great nose.
Yeah, I do. I'm grateful for my nose. I tell you what, I'm so grateful for my nose. I'm very appreciative. I saw this lady the other day. She had a nose like chopped. Like I thought, what the hell is going on with her nose? But it was like chopped in half. I thought, I don't know what happened to her, but she'd actually only had half a nose. I thought, oh my gosh, where's the rest of it? But yeah, I mean, people have all sorts of situations out there. We wonder what shoes we're going to wear, and yet there's people with no feet. Right, it's people with let's bear a thought for the people with no feet out there. People like Nick Vujicic, who's got no arms, no legs, and he's one of the most inspiring speakers I've ever seen. No arms, no legs. I'll tell you what, if you're whinging about something right now, my friends, tuning in live or on the replay, if you're whinging about anything whatsoever, go and check out Nick Vujicic or just look up man with no arms, no legs and put Nick and you'll see some extraordinary footage of this guy who's just amazing. No arms, no legs. And he actually looks at it as a blessing. He looks at it as a blessing because he's impacted millions of people worldwide with his story, and extraordinary man. He's married with 4 kids, full-bodied kids. Extraordinary. He lives in America now and is actually an Aussie guy or Aussie European living in America. So, yeah, check him out if you want something to be grateful for. I tell you, well, I'm grateful for Nick. He's extraordinary. So, yes, let's bear a thought for that. And for those who want to connect with me, you can hop along to linktree/Aldwyn. That's linktr.ee/Aldwyn. Is spelled ALDWYN. And over there, you'll find a heap of free resources to help you be seen, heard, and known, to help package up your message and your genius and get you out to the masses. That's what we do. I have a media business, AA Expose Media. You'll see all my links there. Also, I have an event called How to Build a Global Brand. And my next event of those that I'm running is on the 4th of July. So you can check that out as well and come and register. It's a free webinar online anywhere in the world. You can come and tune in. It's going to be a night event this time. We're going to be at 6 p.m. on Independence Day, July 4, 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which might be a better time zone for those in India where it's like 5.5 hours before that. So it'll be around your lunchtime there over in India. And for our American friends, it'll be in the wee hours of the morning, early hours of the morning. But wherever you are, it's going to be worth tuning in. So check that out. Also, check out my YouTube channel. We have over 1,200 videos on there now, some extraordinary interviews with Media Queen TV, with Total Truth Show, with Media Mavens Show, and with a heap of other great content. And that's what it looks like. Just look up Aldwyn Altuney Media Queen TV. Subscribe if you haven't already, and enjoy some of the amazing content there. And some of the funny videos, go check out some of the funny videos over there. They're really, really cool. So that's it there. Also, the Global Good News Challenge we have every single month is a great way to practice gratitude, to get into gratitude, to share your good news, to focus on the good news. What you focus on grows. What you focus on grows. So focus on gratitude, good news. You're going to have a lot more to be grateful for. All the details are pinned to the top of the Global Good News Challenge Facebook page. Okay, you'll see, but it's all in the links there. Just check out the links, and there's only about 50 in there to go through. So enjoy that. Go through those and check out some of those links, and let's connect. Connect wherever you are. Telegram, wherever you are. Connect, Threads, the whole lot. It's all there. Brody Holland's with us on Instagram. Good to see you, Brody. What are you grateful for? If you've just joined us, what are you grateful for? Let us know in the comments. And my quote today I'm going to leave you with is a Gandhi quote, one of my favorites. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Any final thoughts, Nasirra? It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you for coming on. Any final thoughts before we wrap up?
Aldwyn, thank you. It's been really nice talking to you. I've enjoyed every minute of this. I feel energized by just the quality of the conversation that we've had and the energy that you give out. So really, hats off to you and the wonderful work that you're doing.
Thank you so much.
It's been an honor being here today.
Oh,
My parting note on this is that everybody can create and design their destiny. You just need to know how to do it. And there are tools out there. So don't get unstuck. Get out of it. Get going. Your dreams are possible.
Yes, absolutely. And it's just gone 1:11:22. So I'm going to wrap it up. 1:11, perfect time to wrap up this show. Thank you so much for joining us. Let us know what you thought in the comments. Share the love, subscribe, do all that. Let's connect, and we'll see you again next time on Media Queen TV. Thanks again.